ET beings plan to remove all governments and the elite by 2029? The word on the street is that by 2029 the world could possibly be invaded by extraterrestrial beings and all governments and the elite are to be removed, something which has been confirmed by certain government ex-employees who worked in secret bases. This intriguing announcement has been confirmed by Phil Schneider, who claimed to be an ex-government structural engineer who was involved in building underground military bases around America, and to be one of only 3 people to survive the 1979 incident between the alien Greys and U.S. military forces at the Dulce underground base. Strangely, Schneider was found dead in his apartment. Apparently his death was caused by a stroke, but many have suggested that he was murdered, possibly by the U.S. government. Please click here to learn more about Schneider. Phil Schneider was very loud and clear about what he says that he learned about the extraterrestrials whilst working under a top-secret high-security clearance for the American government. Phil was mocked heavily by the media when he came out with such controversial statement. Although many people around the world, including Veterans Today senior editor Gordon Duff, had a lot of faith and belief in Schneider and even declared him in public as a UFO whistleblower. When Phil was found dead in his apartment, it was first indicated that he could have committed suicide. However, many truth seekers around the world now believe that he was actually murdered, possibly for the things that he knew about. Schneider was found dead in his apartment in 1996. Schneider strongly reinforced the case that back in 1954, then-President Dwight Eisenhower supposedly made a pact with 3 different species of aliens. This is something that Phil confirmed to a rather intrigued group of students at a lecture at the 1995 Preparedness Expo. Phil also confirmed at the lecture that the then-president did this for in exchange for alien technology. Phil Schneider and many other UFO researchers strongly, and many still do, believed that President Dwight Eisenhower gave the ETs his very own permission to abduct some cattle and a very limited number of human beings. Cattle were found in their tens of thousands across the U.S., inexplicably mutilated. It has been recorded that many of these brutal killings of cattle had their organs had carefully been removed, as if done by some kind of surgeon. Some said at the time that these cattle killings were done by predatory animals, but have any of you ever seen a wolf etc. with a surgeon's knife chasing after cattle? Phil Schneider then went on to state that the human abductees, which could have been in the thousands, could very well have been eaten by the alien beings. Phil confirmed that at least 9 races of aliens see us human beings as merely as a bag of food and nothing else. Would a president have allowed his people to end up like this? Did he have a choice, if he was that desperate to get hold of their technology? Later at the same event, the lecture at the 1995 Preparedness Expo, Phil presented to the audience a very unusual piece of metal. He explained that this piece of metal was in fact part of the technology that the alien beings were offering to the human beings as an exchange, and with the key benefit of being completely indestructible. Apparently this very special type of metal is made of niobium, an element we have on the periodic table, and marinate, which is in fact an alien element you won't find mentioned anywhere in Earth's textbooks or science books. Another piece of alien technology the human race gained off certain extraterrestrial beings was a spy satellite that could spot a coin on your kitchen floor. This technology, apparently infrared technology, and had a resolution factor of 99.99961. Paul confirmed that it was only the military that had ideas for this level of technology, and it is all something that is now put into use in today's modern military equipment. But according to Schneider, the aliens violated the pact and took more humans than what they should have done. This is when an undercover war with the aliens was declared. Phil confirmed that the aliens plan to rid the world of the world's governments and the elite, and that they plan to take over in 2029. Phil gave a stark warning before his death: "We don't have a whole heap of time left," and urged the governments to tell the people of this planet what they have done and what is coming in 2029. Sadly, Phil Schneider died not long after making these brave statements to the world. He never did quite fully explain whether it was just the world leaders that the aliens want to rid this planet of in 2029, or was it the human race as a whole. UIP summary: as much as this story may appear a little over the top, it is important to remember that there are a lot of odd goings on around the world at the moment, that could be possibly deemed as a build-up to something. But a war? Could you actually declare war on a species that has the technology to travel between the stars? Take for instance the sheer amount of drip-feeding of disclosure by NASA and the government-controlled media. Please click here for more, which has been going on over the last few years. We have had NASA admit that by 2025 we will discover other alien civilizations, not too far off the 2029 date as mentioned in this article.